Today we're diving into something a little unusual, the so-called Xbox Series X Pro. Now, you might have heard whispers or seen posts about it being the next big upgrade in Microsoft's console lineup. Here's the deal. Microsoft has explicitly said there is no Series X Pro. So what are we reviewing? We're really looking at the current Xbox Series X plus the updated variants, analyzing how they perform, what they deliver, and whether it makes sense to pick one up today. Product overview. So what exactly are we looking at? This is the Xbox Series X from Microsoft, first launched in November 2025, aimed at gamers who want high-end performance in the living room, 4K gaming, up to 120 FPS, lightning-fast load times. Recently, Microsoft released several variants rather than a full Pro upgrade. The key proposition? One console that handles current gaming demands now and is still ready for what's coming next. Performance. Specs are one thing, but how does it actually perform in the wild? I use the Series X to test everything from high-budget titles, multiplayer sessions, fly around open worlds, jump in and out via quick resume, and here's how it felt. When I fired up a big graphical game in 4K, the system was solid at hitting its target, rendering at 60 FPS, with headroom up to 120 Hz when the game supports it. Reviewers note that even 4-5 years later, the Series X remains Microsoft's most powerful and capable console for 4K 120 Hz type gaming. Load times, very good. The combination of the custom NVMe SSD and Microsoft Velocity architecture means you're spending less time waiting and more time playing. In multiplayer matches, the system felt responsive. Switching between games via quick resume worked without massive hitches. On the other side, if you're coming from a PC with ultra settings or 144 Hz monitor, you'll still notice some compromises. And if your display isn't set up for 4K 120 Hz and HDMI 2.1 stuff, some of the benefits are more theoretical. In short, for a console experience on a big TV, it nails it. But if you're chasing ultra PC levels, there are trade-offs. Features and tech. 4K output up to 120 FPS plus HDMI 2.1 VRR support. The Series X supports 4K at 60 FPS as a baseline, with the potential for 120 FPS where supported. What that means, when paired with a capable TV or monitor, motion in games, especially fast-paced shooters or racing games, feels far smoother, less lag in the feel of it. Quick resume across multiple games. My favorite real-world feature. Jump out of one game, into another, then back again. The console picks up right where you left off. Reviewers consistently cite this as a major comfort feature. For you, less waiting, more playing, especially when you bounce between games or do short sessions. Backward compatibility plus Game Pass ecosystem. The hardware supports titles from previous Xbox generations, which means your older library still has value. With services like Game Pass, that becomes a compelling package. You get access to many games plus a console that can run them well. Solid thermal and noise performance. One of the surprises, despite the power, the console runs quietly and doesn't overheat easily. As one reviewer put it, they could rest their hand on the outtake vent after hours of gaming without worry. For you, less distraction, less fan noise, fewer "OMG, my console is roasting" moments. Design and build. Aesthetically, the Series X is like a sleek black tower. If you're used to game consoles being flat boxes, this stands tall and proud. Reviewers have praised its minimal design. Materials, mostly matte black plastic with clean lines. Practical, you can orient it vertically or horizontally. The size does mean you'll need to plan enough ventilation space. For ergonomics and practical living room fit, it blends in. If you're picky about fingerprints, yeah, matte plastic, but you'll live. The updated digital edition version removes the disk drive and drops into a white colorway. Same internals. Slightly better power efficiency. From a build quality standpoint, feels premium enough for the price, and it's clearly a console meant to sit for years rather than be replaced in 12 months. Just make sure your TV or display supports the specs to fully leverage the hardware. Pros. Smooth 4K. Quick resume is a game changer. Quiet, clean design. Cons. Little gain on 1080p 60 Hz displays. Storage feels fast and expansion is expensive. Final verdict. You've got a 4K HDR TV, and you want a console that handles pretty much anything current gaming can throw at it, without massive compromises. You're mid-generation in your gaming, and you want buy it now and it'll be useful for years rather than constantly playing upgrade roulette. On the flip side, if your setup is a 1080p or 60Hz display, or you only occasionally game, you may not need this console yet. Similarly, if you hope for a Series X Pro with crazy next-gen power leap, that's not happening in this cycle. Microsoft says they're going straight to the next generation. So if you want the absolute bleeding edge right now, you might wait or consider a gaming PC. Final sentence, the Xbox Series X isn't revolutionary in 2025. It was. And it still holds up, but it's a smart, reliable, top-tier console today choice. If that sounds like your next move, go for it.